Dear colleagues, we continue our working day at Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and the topic of the next event, results of the first transparent procurement of medical supplies for the penitentiary system. Our guests are Natalia Sevostianova, First Deputy Minister of Justice of Ukraine, and Sergiy Dmytriyev, all-Ukrainian Network of People with HIV Coordination Council member. Good afternoon, dear friends, and Natalia is given the floor. Good afternoon. Dear colleagues, all those who listen and view us. So today we have briefing on a very important issue. These are procurement for the penitentiary system. You know that the reform in the system started in January this year in many spheres, starting from how to improve conditions in the penitentiary facilities, how to find quality staff, and how to start probation system, and also how to carry out procurement correctly in order to supply the penitentiary system. And this procurement also concerns many different areas, catering, medicines, coal, and different products that are needed. And also there were some questions among the activists and non-governmental organizations on how these procurements are made and why there were no saving as a result of this procurement. And sometimes these prices were even bigger than in the market. So before reforming, we conducted an audit of the procurement in the penitentiary system, and we saw that in all procurements only 2 companies won. And of course, because there was no competition, the prices were high, and we presented these results of this audit. And in July this year, together with Transparent International and other organizations, we signed memorandum on cooperation directed at conducting audit of procurements and then training of new officers that will be hired after contest in order to make procurements correctly. And we are also grateful to our colleagues from Prozoro who share this experience with us, and we see first results. So penitentiary system is not liquidated. It is in the state of liquidation now, and the function is not transferred to the Ministry of Justice, but we provided a list of recommendations with our colleague in order to make procurements concerning medicines. And now we can see our slides. So these are our colleagues with whom we signed memorandum. So first procurements were made in the Prozoro system. Previously, what was the problem? The service started to use Prozoro system, and there were also arguments how to avoid tender, or the tender was postponed or cancelled. The problem was that lots that were provided to the Prozoro system, they included tens of different medicines of different categories. And those entities who took part in procurement, it was difficult for them to take part in these tenders because, in fact, they couldn't provide the whole list of products. Tuberculosis, drugs, and other medicines for fighting other disease, and the same well-known companies won. And this time, due to recommendations provided after we signed the memorandum, we see positive results. So you may see anti-tuberculosis drugs list and the price, expected cost, and proposals of the winners. The saving is about 34% of money was saved. We bought for less money. So in some positions, the saving was 69%. These are impressive numbers because we didn't have such savings in this area. And also we expected that we will spend 15.8 million and spend 10.5 million. And also with the help of recommendations of our colleagues, each lot included one type of medicines, and the producers were able to take part in the tender, and they proposed the lowest prices. And according to the data that was included in the memorandum, we will continue to analyze the results of the procurement, and we hope that when state procurement will be transferred to the Ministry of Justice, they will be carried out under the monitoring of the memorandum signatory parties. And this is very important because we know that the service was underfinanced each year. 40% of money was not added, and saving that will be possible in state procurement will be a resource that will help to efficiently realize the reform next year. As you may see, we compared 2014 and 2015, and sources of financing of buying medicines, they are in overall in a special fund. And if we speak on the whole, in 2014-2015, the state and the penitentiary system spent about 140 million for buying medicines for the penitentiary institutions. Also, I'd like to give the floor to my colleague who help us in this process, and we believe that this is our first victory on the way of cooperation with Prozoro system and introduction of mechanisms for fair, transparent procurement.
Good afternoon. I would like to tell you the background history of the procurement and our cooperation with the penitentiary system. It consists with the work of our work with PLHIV convicts. So the cooperation consists in the following components. The first time, the penitentiary system decided to buy drugs against HIV. So we found that the procurement was 2 million hryvnias higher. Some drugs were bought for such amounts which were twice higher than even in the retail chain of drugstores in Kiev. We submitted the claims to relevant competent bodies. After that, 2 million hryvnias have been saved. After that, the penitentiary system decided not to buy drugs against AIDS because they were afraid of so close attention to their procurements of drugs. Although the state penitentiary system was obliged to buy drugs to cure HIV, this year we can see the dramatic positive changes. Thank you very much for having for that you have followed our recommendations that now the drugs are not any longer joined into one lot. Because when drugs are joined in one lot, this could be very easily explained that only when plums, pears, peaches are combined with pineapples, and only one manufacturer in the country produce pineapples, then only this manufacturer will win the bidding. So tuberculosis drugs were bought by separate lots without joining them. That is why the penitentiary system saved money on procurement of tuberculosis drugs. This is because was catastrophic cases of people dying from TB in penitentiary institutions when some drugs are paid attention of this by the civil society, by NGOs, then they are not joined into lots. When antibiotics were joined into one lot this year, we again submitted the claim to a competent body because this also provided anti-competitive conditions for this tendering procedure. Many suppliers who can supply drugs at low prices, they do not agree to payments in 3 months because payment of after 3 months, this is anti-competitive. Who will pay to the suppliers? What would be the system of powers? How Ministry of Justice delegates the powers? We see two big problems. Either this is a very strong negligence of responsibilities, or it is very vast corruption, grave cases of corruption. We would like to thank the Ministry of Finance for their cooperation with us. When we started cooperate with the ministry, the situation have changed because previously we cooperated with the State Penitentiary Department. So invite us further. We would like to provide you any technical assistance. Just invite us. Thank you, colleagues. Are there any questions among the audience? There are no questions. At the end of the briefing, we wish you every success.
Шановні колеги,